picture. Yes, and find out, would Kmart be shocked? Kmart, would you be shocked if Justin Fields takes the Jets to the playoffs?
Okay. The last time they made the playoffs, I think D Wood was on the team. So it has been so long since they've made the playoffs. I'm not saying that Justin Fields will be an upgrade from what they had last year, that he won't have a good season, but to expect the Jets to make the playoffs in that division, I don't.
What do you think, D Wood?
Yeah, listen, I don't expect the Jets to do it. I think that the pathway is they should have set a record. Got that tough athlete all the line in the backfield. They got to utilize that athletic.
My guess is at least that'll be the plan to start him probably all year. All right, Kmart, would you be shocked if Michael Penix Jr. leads the Falcons to the playoffs?
Daniel, I would not be shocked. Listen, I think the Falcons waited for what, week 15 to make a QB switch from Kirk Cousins to Michael Penix. I think, listen, that division, I think it's for the most part pretty wide open. They swept the Bucs last year in the regular season, so I wouldn't be shocked if they actually did playoffs.
Harry, what do you think about your Falcons and their chances of Penix running the show?
Yeah, I love Michael Penix Jr. He's a guy that can beat you at all three levels, short, intermediate, deep. I think one of the things that really alerted this coaching staff to draft him is that they kind of reminded him of the kind of Matthew Stafford. This coaching staff came from the Los Angeles Rams, so being able to throw the football outside the numbers and be a sharpshooter in that capacity, he's cool, calm, and collected, and he has his entire offseason to be able to be the number one guy and build that rapport with Drake London and also Darnell Mooney. If they can get Kyle Pitts to come on board, this is going to be a scary football team.
We've been waiting for that. We've been waiting that since he was drafted.
That is what you call a big if. One more. We've been talking about T.J. Watt and the Steelers all week. He still hasn't signed a contract extension. Would you be shocked if the Steelers end up trading T.J. Watt?
Yeah, I would be so shocked. I would walk from here to the Bronx if they trade him. But I would be shocked. Listen, when we hear Mike Tomlin talk about TJ, he talks about he's essentially the heart and soul of this defense, of this team. Forget who the quarterback is. TJ Watt is literally the face of the franchise. And as Aaron Rodgers was talking last week, he's almost discussing it like it's a foregone conclusion. Like when we get Aaron back in the building, TJ back in the building, it's all good. I think they'll end up.
It does feel inconceivable that the Steelers would end up moving on from T.J. Watt. But, Harry, we've heard from Adam Schefter several times this week. T.J.'s not happy. As long as the deal's not done, other teams are wondering, could he become available? Has Pittsburgh made a mistake by sort of letting this drag out?
Yeah, Groth, I don't understand why they're waiting so long to sign T.J. Watt. Since 2018, he's been one of the most premier pass rushers in the National Football League. We know the record without T.J. Watt is 1-11, so you're pretty much not in the thick of things when he's not on the football field for you as a team. He's the face of the franchise. It's not an offensive player, it's a defensive player, and that guy's the guy that goes and sacks the quarterback. So I don't understand what they're waiting for, but make sure by all means necessary you sign T.J. Watt so he can be there for the regular season.
Is it a concern for you, D. Wood?
No, I'm like, we haven't even got to September. If we get to September and T.J. Watt is not the case, then I start, I'll be concerned. We haven't started playing games yet.
Exactly. If here's the thing, we know both sides want T.J. Watt to retire as Steeler. I think in certain negotiations, sometimes the player's like, listen, I want as much money from anybody. I think the Steelers understand he wants to be here. And I think once we get to the end of training camp, once we're, somewhere within like August, if this hasn't been done, we're creeping up on the season, then you sort of say, okay, what are the Steelers actually waiting for? Perhaps the mistake was waiting till we got to the point where he was going into his final year. Maybe you just say, hey, we should have given you more money because the market's going to keep going up before Miles was ever going to get money, before some of these other guys. But I think both sides want him to retire here as a Steeler, and I think that's what's going to happen.
I think if T.J. Watt's not on the Steelers, that's a seismic event that we'll probably spend a good chunk, if not an entire show, talking about. So let's presume for now that he is, and we're looking ahead to a Steelers season with Aaron Rodgers, with DK Metcalf, with all the changes they made on defense, T.J. Watt in place. What would your biggest concern be about that team at the end of the season?
The offensive line. As much as we talk about all the acquisitions that the Pittsburgh Steelers have made, to me, the number one thing is how well this offensive line is going to play. The Pittsburgh Steelers have invested a tremendous amount of draft capital into that group. And in order for this whole experiment to work with Aaron Rodgers and everybody that's coming on board, that group better. We know Arthur Smith loves to run the ball. We know play action pass is going to be a big part of the Steelers offense. That offensive line needs to play much better than what they played last year.
Harry, what do you think?
I agree with D. Wood. It's all about that offensive line. Now, 4 of the 5 starters are going into year 2 or year 3. The quicker those guys have the ability to grow and also gel and assist Aaron Rodgers with the run game, because if that offensive line is hitting on all cylinders, now he's going to be protected. The run game is going to be valuable, and now that play action game that Arthur Smith loves to run is going to be at the top of the total pole when it comes to that offense. So the offensive line, they have to play well in order for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers to have a successful season.
Steelers have made an uncharacteristic number of headlines this offseason. We can't wait to see what the season brings when it rolls around.
Xin chào. Bây giờ mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn làm ngay.
Đi đây. Đi đây. Máu à. Gì đấy?